Derivatives trading involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results.
So stressful when the world's on fire. Good God. I can't look at this, guys. Like, my strategy is you buy it and you hope that you got a good spot. Yeah, but we all think you're crazy. You don't fight this. No way. The markets are freaking out and you don't think that anything is wrong? Come back tomorrow and I'll lose it all. Should be fun.
Good morning. 20th of April, Tuesday. Well, not a ton of news on the docket today, but we do have a market that is moving. We come to the chart. Yesterday, pretty ugly day. I mean, I don't know. I guess when you look at things in context, that move down was not like the end of the world or anything. And here in the overnight session, another move down. Still haven't recovered, prices from the last Thursday. So this could just be some mean reversion, but I tell you what, when it comes down, it sure is ugly, isn't it? So we got that going over there, and then in the treasuries, yields are increasing again. I wouldn't say that it's at like a huge deal yet, but there seems to be some fight going on in the treasury. Like, some people think that the yield should be lower, and some people think that they should be higher. At least that's what I'm gathering from the tape. Meanwhile, market makers just like not taking any flow. So it's kind of hard to play the treasuries over there because of that. Coming over here, oil. Oh, it's time to roll oil over. Yes, sir. Roll over. Okay, so we got oil. Oil, they're still a little bit sideways, but slightly up. Oh, you know what? We never enabled these. Let's do that. There we go. Anyways, then we come over to silver and gold. Silver and gold just kind of middling around. So even though the dollar is just getting absolutely crushed, and I really mean like absolutely crushed, gold and silver not really taking off. So we'll see. I think that, I still believe that if they get the momentum going, that it could be big. But it's still like they got to get above 26.5, 27 in silver before there's there's some momentum, but I don't know if the strategies have kicked off. And I suspect that there's still some big guys short gold and silver. So over here, copper going pretty okay. Some comments in China on that, and Rio Tinto releasing some numbers about production and so forth. So that's what we got going on. So here as the session starts, the treasuries are moving down. Just should note pretty aggressively. I guess they are taking some orders at 8 and 7.5. Also, we should point out over here that overnight the dollar just got absolutely crushed. Absolutely crushed. Look at them touching below 91 for a moment. But now, since this market has kind of been falling apart, we're seeing some dollar flight again. I'm not seeing, like, it's not super clear where the money is going to, but some flight to the dollar. Oh man, when you look at that 5-minute chart and you see the slips and everything, you see how ugly that down move really was. Wow. Okay. Also, another slight piece of news for you guys. Ninja Trader has made their release, so they got 8.24.2. Added the ability to connect with futures.de for Rhythmic, so that's cool. Could not use set for period on indicators. Huh. Yeah, okay. A couple of little changes over there in Ninja Trader, so if you haven't updated recently, if you haven't updated to version 24 yet, you might want to do that. That gives you additional levels of depth. So how are you guys doing? I see Win and Keller are already here. Man, I don't know. We might, it's a Tuesday. I'm just kind of sitting here thinking about like what our, how I'm going to deal with this. Well, I need to blow my nose first. So I think the issue here kind of is that we've had such a strong move, relatively speaking, in the equities, that what are the chances of a mean reversion coming in? Well, I think that there's some pretty good fundamental reasons why we would be having a pullback here. So I'm not so sure that I really want to like swing for the fences today. And it is a Tuesday. Let's see here. Let's come over and look at the news docket because I don't got anything today. I haven't really looked. I've been slacking on the news, guys. Here we go. Okay, so this week, what we got? Unemployment, man, there's like no news this week. Unemployment claims and flash manufacturing PMI. That is dismal. And then next week we got some numbers, FOMC, PMI, PCE. Starting to see a lot of people talk about inflation, like the CPI and PCE and stuff. I'm loving it. We should make a video about it. We should make a video about these numbers. I think that that's something that we could be going into that would be useful to people. I've always said, go and look at the numbers and see what's in them, but I could make a video that goes over that, and you could learn that way. Oh, I didn't turn on the text to speech. IBM issued first quarter earnings and revenue that exceeded estimates. Reported revenue growth after 4 quarters of declines. Shares rose nearly 3% and pre-market. Well, yeah, so we do have earnings going on, huh? I guess we should pull up the stocks here today, huh? Let's pull up the stocks. I can rant. I have some things to rant about today. You know what's bothering me today? Investing as an identity. You know what I'm talking about? Have you seen this? You've seen people doing this? Like, the thing is trading has kind of always been part of my identity. So of course, if you're doing this and you're like a day trader, like that's going to be part of your thing. It's kind of funny. We need to capitalize on this a little bit more. Trader lifestyle stuff. It's things we can sell that are like, hey, I'm a trader, but it's more than just like, oh, I'm an investor, I'm a trader. It's like I'm an investor in GameStop, right? I own Dogecoin. You know what I mean? Like, people are starting to pick up their identity on what they're invested in, which I understand, and I guess you should expect to happen, but I don't think people realize how detrimental that can be to your investing. You know what I mean? If you consider the fact that you own GameStop stock a part of your personality, part of your identity, then how are you going to make a rational decision when it's time to sell it, right? If that time is not already well past, right? Oh, that's right. When we get the Chauvin verdict today. Oh, that is going to be a mess. Did you see this stuff yesterday? Maxine Waters came out and said to the protesters out there that, like, you need to get more confrontational and stuff. Like, So she wasn't straight up saying go and riot, but like I think it's a little funny how when Donald Trump was, gave his thing at the Capitol, that was encouraging people to foment a rebellion. But what Maxine Waters did was not okay, because Donald Trump said, go in peace, don't do anything dumb. Maxine Waters, you need to be more confrontational. Unbelievable. And the judge in the case is like, well, I can't call a mistrial over that because nobody involved in the actual trial did anything yet. But if Chauvin loses and you appeal it, you have a really good case, is what the judge basically said. And I'm just sitting over here like, good grief, man. I mean, what are you gonna do? I haven't been watching it. I know a lot of people have been like, I've seen some people on Reddit, they just watch the trial. They've been entranced. They've been watching it. And I don't know. It's kind of weird to see people's reactions because, so like if you go on the Donald, by the way, the people on the Donald are like, they're off the deep end, man. I'm telling you, it's like those guys. They think they're convinced that the election was stolen from them and that the United States is lost. You see this all the time. It's all lost. It doesn't matter because the United States is lost. Our government is illegitimate. Oh man, and they're all convinced that Chauvin should be acquitted, but they don't think that he will be. They think that the jurors will convict him basically because the government has basically told them to. This is basically the way that it sounded to me. I've based on a lot of the things that I've heard though, they're certainly not going to get a murder conviction, right? Well, I think that they kind of gave up going for like capital one, right? Let's see here. Winston says the defense threw everything at the wall from car exhaust pipes to his drug use, and they only need one juror to have enough doubt to declare a mistrial on one of the 3 counts. Yeah, exactly. Well, I think that they did a good job from what I read on it. I didn't watch it live, but I read the evidence that was presented and everything, and the impression that I was left with was that they did a good job at showing that it probably wasn't Chauvin that directly led to George Floyd's death. So I don't know how that comes out illegally and everything, but that's been their what is strategy. And the thing is like there's been a lot of big time, like police cases like this. The Chauvin trial seems like a really huge deal, right? It's not the first time that the media has done this, right? I'm sure Wynn will remember, like especially in the 70s and 80s, there was a number of these that were huge. Like, do you remember the one where there was this guy sitting on his porch and the police thought he was acting suspicious? They have like, the plainclothes anti-drug and gang police in New York, and they're just sitting in their car and they think this guy is acting strange, so they're going to go out and question him. And as they start approaching the guy, they think that he is reaching into his coat. And so they start shooting at him. And the guy, he had no clue what was going on. And so he didn't like surrender or anything. He kind of acted like he was going to try and do something. So the police killed this guy, completely innocent, just clueless, frankly. And yeah, it was a big deal. Everybody's like, they shot him like 47 times or whatever. and he was completely innocent. How is that not police brutality? But the jury acquitted those police officers. And that was the big one when I was a kid. And now we got this Chauvin trial. But this is the first time that I think I've seen it be like, oh, let's see here. I remember everything from a laundry that only served whites, which confused me because we had colored clothes. And I remember the KKK visiting Kessler at AFB. I remember a lot. Oh, wow. Yeah, that's stuff that's like way before. One of the things that I find really weird is like, I remember when I was a kid, there would, the news would talk about the KKK doing like having a protest or something. And it was just a bunch of crazy white guys. And, it wasn't very many of them. And like today, I believe there's even more of a minority, but the media makes an even bigger deal out of these guys. But no, this is the first time though that I've seen it where there's like really serious political considerations and expectations of an all-out riot. Well, I don't know. I guess there was the LA riots. This is probably a pretty similar situation, right? Do you own any Dogecoins? Hell no. Hell no. Listen, if you guys want to all roll the dice on a Ponzi scheme, then go for it. Go for it. You know what? I should have been buying into some Dogecoins during the hiatus. I remember saying, back in 2018, I remember us saying like we should do that, right? We should accumulate some Dogecoin. Do you guys remember that conversation? That was maybe before Win started coming around here, and then I completely forgot about Dogecoin. I have a lot of garlic. Holy crap, the garlic has been doing so well. Let's come over CoinMarketCap and see what they're doing. Well, Doge still about where it was, 39. Bitcoin recovering some of its, downward price movement, but still kind of at 5,500. So not particularly great. Coin's still doing pretty well. And Garlic Coin still sitting pretty at around 69. And you can see here in the chart, if I go to a daily chart, you can kind of see where there's been some, I would call this balance, like anytime that anybody buys or sells, it's going to, so it looks like there's some balance between buyers and sellers right now. Switching back and forth between those spots. Dogecoin might break $1 today. Yeah, I doubt it. I doubt it. So let's look at this. Okay. So here right now, you have a market cap of 50 billion. 50 billion. And they are, with 50 billion, 40% of the way there. Right? So in order for them to reach $1, they're going to have a market cap of over $1 trillion. Right? Oh, no. I'm wrong. It'll be 150 billion. They'll have to have a market cap of over 150 billion. So you really got to wonder, where are they going to get the money for $150 billion market cap? When what we're seeing right now is already wacko crazy. Like the number of people that I've seen out there, like people that I know that would never involve themselves in trading or even investing at all. And they're buying Dogecoin on Robinhood. It's just crazy. Yeah, that's what people are saying, but I'm playing it safe with stratified out buys and sells already pre-programmed around my finance. Yeah. Here's the thing, is like, how do you know anything of what it's going to do? You know? Hey guys, how much drama about that ES pullback is there already? I don't know. I mean, they seem to be digging their way out at the moment. Here's the thing, is we don't really have a whole lot of news. We've got like, so if we come to CNBC here. Sorry, I know I'm a little bit all over the place. Well, I don't see any huge stories on particular earnings, but that seems to be the driver right now, is earnings, right? IBM did its earnings, but no, you just got to remember, guys. What is the driver of price in Dogecoin? People buying it. How many more people are going to come in and buy Dogecoin? How many people that have bought Dogecoin, they have money and they're going to buy more? There's no way to know. There's literally no way to know how many retail traders are going to get involved in something like that. So once it is to the point that it is like a rabid, a rabid frenzy, there is no edge. It is gambling, like straight up. You trade in Dogecoin, you're basically gambling right now. Straight up. I think all of these people, they get into it and they make money and then they say, haha, well, but I made money, so that must mean I'm smart. No, it doesn't. It just means you got lucky. Just means you got lucky. And I only trade when I believe I have an edge. So, for instance, if I had gotten into Dogecoin when it was worth an eighth of a cent, or spot 8 of a cent, rather, then maybe I could be holding it and I could justify staying long, depending on how much of it I had. But once you had this spike right here on the 16th, and everything after that, you're gambling. I'm sorry. Probably not what the Dogecoin people want to hear, right? It's great to see because it's the perfect thing to make everyone a night. Uzi, how have you been? I was wondering where you went. We were having a discussion about freedom versus safety yesterday. I needed backup, but you weren't there for me, man. But welcome back. I tell you what, though, you definitely picking up on the same thing that I am, HF. It's like the established people in the financial world are just tired of it. My contractor friend showed up unexpectedly yesterday at 8:30 to do bathroom work. Oh, okay. For the crypto skeptic, no coiner is just more evidence that the coin thing is a scam or a bubble or a Ponzi scheme that will eventually end in tears. Well, this is the thing that it just I think is so wild. Is well, that's good. Updating your bathroom. Are you like gonna flip that house? No, like the thing that I think is so crazy, and it's like these people don't understand it, is like, okay, so if this is up on all y'all buying, what do you think is going to happen when you sell it? Right? Like, you have an impact on the stock, on the coin when you sell it. And so you haven't made any money until you sell it. And the fact that it is still sitting up here at spot 4 says to me that none of y'all sold it. So you're looking for it to double now. Over double. I don't think they're going to make it. Oh no, this is a family house. I'm gonna stay in it until the government finishes us all. But we had a burst pipe that ruined our old bathroom. Oh, okay. I gotcha. You were in it at spot 03? Oh, that was 3 cents. You got in at 3 cents. Yeah. Listen, I got into garlic coin, huh? When I got into garlic coin, I've been mining it from day one. I mined it from here until I think here. All that time when it was worth like literally nothing. It was not even worth 1/10 of a penny. And I just mined it, and I mined quite a lot. So, fingers crossed. I'm just sitting over here like it's only a matter of time. The only question is, does the larger cryptocurrency market crash before Garlic Coin gets its day, you know? Because year to date, pretty amazing. I love how they use this text here to make it seem like somebody actually wrote something. That's funny. Okay, well, let's come and look over at some stocks here for a second. ARK down, Tesla down, spot 7%. Meme stocks down 1.6. PLTR taking a beating too. Okay. Not all bad. AMC is up. Bed Bath & Beyond is up. GameStop is up. But they're still just at 167, huh? No, 3 cents get you. You're up 3 ticks, so you went short up there, huh? I tell you what, so the other thing, Uzi, with this was that I am finding the price movement in the bonds to be incredibly difficult to decipher right now. Do you think the Tesla car crash will impact its shares today? Well, I think that it already impacted its shares yesterday, right? So could there be some continuation of that? I suppose. So here's the deal with that. That's crazy. The latest development on that. So for those of you not aware, there was a car crash with a Tesla car. The car flew off the road and into a tree and killed both both occupants of that car. Okay. Police say nobody was in the driver's seat. Okay. They both passengers had their seatbelts on, both died, nobody in the driver's seat. And they're positive that there was nobody in the driver's seat. Okay. But they're still investigating. And then Tesla comes out and says, this car did not have automated driving turned on, and they didn't even have it purchased on that car. So Elon is claiming that it's not there. Now, I'm going to wait until the police confirm that before I believe him, to be frank. Because he shouldn't be saying that early, but Elon, he just cares about the stock price, man. Come on. He just wants to keep that stock price pumped up. But so here's the thing. If the police were to come out and to say the car was auto driving, Elon is fucked. He is so screwed. To come out and say that, and then the police prove that that's wrong, that would be devastating to him personally, and ergo the stock would probably get destroyed on that. Yeah, Elon goes to jail, Dodge gets but we don't know that that's what's going to happen. So maybe I don't know. What is an alternative explanation? That the driver survived and just ran away? I don't know. The whole thing seems weird to me, yeah? But I don't actually know. So it's a very interesting story. Here's the thing, is this isn't the first car crash with a Tesla. Every time that there is an odd car crash with a Tesla, zero hedge posts about it. And I think the thing has been that just the crashes up until now hadn't been in the United States. So the car can drive without a driver and it wasn't auto. Yeah, I just don't. Makes total sense. Unless there was a driver and they just didn't find him. I don't know. It makes you wonder, doesn't it? I bet it's some sort of devil in the details, like the cop on the scene said they got thrown from the seat and then somebody said no driver. Yeah, I don't know, man. Let's see here. Oh, man. Here it is. Here's the story from Reuters. I wanted to pop up. I wanted to see. Oh, come on. The video's not showing. Okay, there you go. We can't. Oh, no, wait. Oh, that's right. His ace? I don't think he's coming back, to be honest. Haven't heard a peep from him. But you know what? That's the way it's gonna be. Then fine. Now I'm going. Oh yeah, the car completely burned out. That's part of why I think the occupants died. But I wanted to know. Okay, so was the windshield completely bashed through? Could the guy have been thrown from the car and they just didn't realize it? Oh, I don't know. I don't know, man. Seems kind of, I don't know. That reminds me, because you immediately have me start thinking about technical setups, and there was this guy. So I was always been told that stocks have momentum. That stocks that are up tend to continue going up, and stocks that are down tend to continue going down. And I think that I over-applied that. I think that a lot of the way that people want to read technical analysis is completely different for futures. It seems like it just seems like that's the thing. Like if you go and you look at the index, but this guy, I think it was on TikTok, he said that he went through a pretty extensive data set, and it sounded like it was a really big data set, by the way. And he claimed that when he was looking for like correlations with single day returns, that the two things that had the highest correlations with with the next day's returns was where they were at on RSI and the previous day's return. So if the previous day's return was high and they had like a rising, well, he didn't really say, but I'm assuming that it's like you have a rising RSI or a high RSI, that you're likely to continue having a big day, right? So I'm like, I continue to see evidence that like technical analysis can work on longer time frames, right? But on futures, it seems like that particular thing, this like momentum trading per se, is like, it's like they're more efficient, and that sort of stuff just doesn't work very well, Maybe some commodities have momentum though. Well, yeah, because I think that what happens is you get some sort of macroeconomic force that is moving the commodity in that direction, and ergo, that force continues to push it for a long period of time. Like lumber being a good example. Although that one's kind of questionable. So did you know that the prices for lumber is really high, but the price for what are they, just like the raw trees, is the same. So the reason that the cost of lumber is so high is that there hasn't been, it's the supply side. The mills, the people that cut the wood, haven't been churning out as much, even though there's just as much coming in from, the woods. And I saw a TikTok. So it's just like a secondhand anecdotal account, and this guy didn't have proof, but he said that when you go to the lumber yard, that they have like wood like stacked up the pallets as high as they can go, and that they're just not shipping it out. That's what he claims. He claims that the mills are artificially inflating the price by limiting supply. And I saw some people say that this has happened before, and eventually somebody breaks, and then all of that supply comes out all at once, and the price of lumber just craters. So we'll see. But it is an example of where it's like there's a macroeconomic force pushing the price of lumber up. And until that macroeconomic force changes, you would expect to still see it going. So if you are a CTA, you can rely to some extent on the momentum and technical indicators as part of your strategy. Construction is full on, so demand is high. Well, that's probably true too. But the other thing that I'm hearing is that people are holding construction off because it's too expensive. So it's to the point now where it's affecting demand. It's depressing demand. The price is so high that demand is decreasing. But that says to me that it's really is the supply side that is causing the problem now. And this is in line with everything else that we've said, right? That there are going to be supply side disruptions, or that there have been supply side disruptions, and that's going to affect inflation in the short term. Not that you'd ever know it from the CPI number, because the CPI number doesn't track the cost of new housing. They only track the cost of rent. And the landlords aren't allowed to increase rent right now because there's still an eviction moratorium. So until June 1st, we don't get to know what the real situation is over there, I don't think. Well, them treasuries still pushing down. Looks like the 10-year is lagging a little bit compared to its peers. Yeah. E-mini bowling out pretty good here so far. I would even say that the volume that they're getting and so forth looks pretty healthy. So I'm not really seeing anything too interesting in stocks over here. Oops, this is this one. There we go. Anyways, so I see some evidence that you could use technical analysis on higher time frames, but that if you knew the news and fundamentals, that you would come with the same conclusion and possibly earlier, right? Short time frames, though, zero evidence for their efficacy. Every little thing that I go through, it comes out that it's like it's not worth it. Okay, so the treasury's ticked back there. Interesting. So I guess we should note that the treasuries were pushing up pretty hard overnight before all of this, and so this is a little bit more of a retracement. Oh, good morning, Bill. Is there something that I missed? I feel like that there's somebody said made a comment that I missed. No, I think we're caught up. What Motley Fool says, Coinbase, it's all downhill from here. Let's read this. This is by Timothy Green, the Motley Fool. So many things have to go exactly right for the cryptocurrency pioneer to succeed in the long run. Cryptocurrency trading platform Coinbase, after a few volatile days of trading, Coinbase was valued at around $65 billion as it started its first full week as a publicly traded company. Coinbase generates revenue almost entirely from transaction fees. Revenue totaled $1.3 billion, up in 2020, up 140% from the previous year. These transaction fees are quite lucrative. Coinbase generated net income of $322 million last year. Coinbase stock trades for a price-to-sales ratio of roughly 50 and a price-to-earnings ratio of 200. If the company were, say, a subscription software provider that was expected to grow at a quick and steady pace for many years, those ratios might make sense. But given Coinbase's business model, they're just about impossible to justify. If cryptocurrencies go mainstream, it's bad for Coinbase. Prices for cryptocurrencies are extremely volatile. The extreme volatility makes them mostly useless as real-world currencies. A business that accepts Bitcoin as payment, for example, is almost certainly converting that Bitcoin into dollars or another real-world currency immediately. For cryptocurrency to have any real utility, the volatility needs to cool off. If that were to happen, there would be little reason for masses of people to speculate on cryptocurrency prices, given that there would no longer be potential for quick and massive returns. If the speculation dies down, so does the trading volume, and if the trading volume drops, Coinbase's revenue craters. One reason, well, that's not going to happen. I'm sorry. Sorry, Mr. What was his name? Timothy? I'm sorry, that's not going to happen. There's an idea among the cryptocurrency diehards that as Bitcoin becomes more successful and is accepted as the global world currency, that the volatility in Bitcoin will decrease. Well, I do think that with popularity, there will be some decrease in volatility, just because as it gets so big, it will require more money to move it. But there is also something about cryptocurrencies that are inherently volatile because they are deflationary in nature, and so and also because they have fixed supply, and so there will always be a certain given amount of volume. Okay, one reason people are willing to pay excessive fees to buy and sell cryptocurrencies are the massive price swings. Paying $2.99 to buy $100 worth of Bitcoin, which is what Coinbase charges, doesn't make any sense if you expect the value of Bitcoin to rise. If cryptocurrencies remain speculative trading instruments, it's bad for Coinbase. Oh, okay. If Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies never amount to anything in real-world use, Coinbase still has a serious problem. Given Coinbase's fat margins, there's tons of room for competitors to undercut the company's fees. Competition will ensue that facilitating cryptocurrency trades doesn't remain such a high margin business. Just like online stock trading platforms, which now largely don't charge commission at all, it will be a race to the bottom for cryptocurrency trading platforms. Coinbase could make money in other ways, but options will be limited if cryptocurrency mostly remains a vehicle for gamblers and speculators. Okay, so that was an amazing point. What Coinbase needs to happen. Coinbase business depends on people believing that cryptocurrency could one day go mainstream and have real world utility, but for that scenario to never actually play out. That's basically the status quo today. No, it could go mainstream and have real world utility and still be volatile. Coinbase fees are insane. They have a huge commission and then they give you a terrible price way away from the bid at. Yeah, it sounds pretty crazy. Well, I always used Coinbase Pro. They're talking about it, though. They don't have Dogecoin on Coinbase. I thought they did. No, everybody's been doing it on Binance, apparently. It's like Coinbase is sitting on top of a hill, a nudge to the left, stabilizing currency prices and railroad utility. Since Coinbase tumbling in one direction as trading volume dries up, a nudge to the right, acceptance that cryptocurrency will remain purely a speculative asset sends Coinbase tumbling in the other direction as competition forces lower fees. And of course, cryptocurrency prices could crash and interest from investors and speculators could vanish without either scenario playing out. Obviously, that would also be bad for Coinbase. If you want to invest in cryptocurrency, buy cryptocurrency as a bet on cryptocurrency's future. Coinbase stock just doesn't make much sense. So I believe I accept his main conclusion that Coinbase stock just doesn't make much sense. I think that he's making one really big assumption here, though, which is that Coinbase's money will always primarily come from their high fees, right? I think that there's a lot of room for, other utility that you could provide in the cryptocurrency sphere that Coinbase would be well positioned to take advantage of. Like, for instance, smart contract stuff. But for now, probably they're right that doesn't sound like a very good investment, Coinbase. And that it was it's priced too high. President Biden is with great sadness that Jill and I learned of the passing of Vice President Walter Mondale, but great gratitude that we were able to call one of our nation's most dedicated patriots and public servants a dear friend and mentor. Our hearts go out to the Mondale family. I'm pretty sure that Joe Biden doesn't write his tweets. I didn't know that Mondale was still alive. That's a name I haven't heard in a long time. Okay, so there's a little bit of middling around 06. Not sure I understand why the treasuries are rotating around as much as they are. Likelihood of Trump voters to be vaccinated March, April 2021. Definitely, probably will, 28%. Received at least one dose, 43%. Okay. It kind of sounds to me like there's some vaccine holdouts, but that will come right up to what would be considered herd immunity anyways. And all those people that are, they're going to catch it anyways. I already caught it. So I think that the rates are going to go down. I think we still need to give Texas 2 weeks though. Okay, mark this down. So when would 2 weeks be? 2 weeks. So by May 7th, let's say. If by May 7th everything is hunky-dory in Texas, then I say it's over. Oh, really? And are we seeing the dollar? A little bit. %of Americans say the J&J pause was the right call. Same poll shows the decision likely increased vaccine hesitancy, which is what really matters here, says Nate Silver. Okay, so not too happy with how they swept '06 there, but looking at the 5-year, which seems to be leader here, does look like it could tick back down and we might be okay. A little bit of iceberging there. That's one I haven't seen in a while. And then it ticks back up with 1400, so that's not good. Yep, we're out. No? Maybe we're gonna get lucky here. So that right there, that 30, that's gonna have to change for this to work out. Cat Turd says, I heard Jeb is thinking of running in 2024. That would be hilarious. Okay. Tick down, that tick down, not a ton offered on it, but it didn't immediately tick back up, so that's good. Okay. Get that 5-year to tick down. Come on. Just let it happen. Okay, okay. Quite a bit of back and forth there in the 5-year. 30-year looks like they could tick down again if very easily. It's this one that's slagging. Well, now that I've got that spot there, I'm wondering. So, like a 5-year ticked up there, 10-year not showing it wanting to. Yeah, okay. So now I'm wondering if I should try and market make it out or if I should just give up on it. I think if I was just doing it live and I was really looking for one tick, I should have scratched it. Meanwhile, E-mini kind of, I mean, they're on a good run. They're looking a little toppy, but the dollar's going down, so yeah. I guess we'll try and take it out. Let's see here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, so that was a 12 tick downturn. Volume pretty constant through that, though. Like cumulative delta didn't change. So you notice that we're seeing this a lot. The inside market makers are canceling and just letting it tick through. I see a guy I follow on Twitter from, oh, it's the Allah Pundit guy from Hot Air. I can't stand that guy. He was like, oh, between this and the article about mom jeans coming back in style. Dude, where have you been? Mom jeans have been back in style for like a few years now, man. And for good reason. For good reason. Let's see, are you still with me or did my thing stop updating? No, we're good. We're good. I'm really into the trade and it looks like you guys are too, so. Let's see. So I'm seeing Sky Adams. And every time that I see him tweet these days, it seems like he's making an unfounded claim, a claim not backed by evidence. And he always seemed to be the kind of guy that was, look for that sort of stuff. And it's kind of weird to see him like being, and I wonder, is he just saying that stuff to try and, play the psychological game with the base that he's built now? I don't know. I see him making some sketch claims though. ARK Investment sold 590,000 shares of Virgin Galactic yesterday. Oh, well, I didn't know they were in that. Virgin Galactic has been doing terrible for quite some time. What is SPCE doing right now? SPCE. Do I not have it on there? I removed it. Never mind. Never mind. We don't care about that stock anymore. Okay, futures. The E-mini futures getting a little antsy here ahead of the open, it looks like. Let's minimize Bitcoin here. Well, I could see a buy coming through here, but in the on the E-mini open, but it's pretty the margin of room that I have to work here, if we do that, is pretty thin. Okay, there's the open. Looks like the initial orders are a buy. Pretty tepid still, though. Dollar looking weak here, which helps. Okay. Rabobank says we live in an age with absolutely no intellectual foundations. Well, okay. Well, it looks like the buyers have the advantage here at 41.46, but there is somebody trying to push it down a little bit there. And the overall delta that we're getting here, I should reset it. We're definitely getting a good amount of volume coming through. Like enough volume that we could have been like way through here, but they didn't go, right? It's icebergs. Okay, so pretty good up move. Didn't break out to the upside, came back to the open, still kind of holding that. The volume did go negative there briefly. So we've got a bit of a churn going on here. And the treasury's looking like they're going to trade into the VWAP and point of control area now. But still kind of struggling. So I'm going to bail here. Okay, we may have to work out something here. Dollar flipped there a little bit. That might be part of it. See the volume there? It's quite a bit both ways at some of those prices. Okay. Oh, they ticked 2 ticks through that, didn't they? In the 10-year. How is that synthetic dollar built, and why don't you just use this? Does CME has a DX? I don't think the CME has a DX, Kyle. The dollar index is owned by ICE. So if you have ICE, then you can trade the dollar index. But it's like $100, $200 a month for access to ICE data. It's basically only professionals use it. So that's why we have a synthetic dollar index. Major crypto investors becoming concerned about possible U.S. government regulation of cryptocurrency markets. Carlos Gasparino, major crypto investors scrambling to determine the cause of recent sell-off in digital currencies say it's based on a new fear of regulation plus massive leverage positions that exaggerated the unwind over the weekend. They're also surveying former Treasury officials who give low odds on draconian new regulations from Yellen, such as a ban. The train has left the station, according to one investor. Still, fear of unknown definitely seeping in. This has grown overnight to a $2 trillion market, so the government has to do something, an investor said. Okay, so there was a strong push of volume there. So happy that's working out for us. Oh, Kyle says, yes, you're right. I use in Trading Minute View. Yeah. But I think in Trading View, you can't get the intraday data, if I'm correct, if I recall correctly. Anyways, but what I do is I use all of the CME FX futures to calculate it. That's also, I think there's a bug in it though, because how am I getting these? The way that I programmed it, you should never get these gaps like this. So I don't know how that is occurring. Because the open should be the previous closes close. Yeah, I don't know. I have to look at it. Okay, well, volume is still looking very good. You do get intraday data on it. Okay. Well, looks like Pickles is long too. Oh, I forgot that it's 4:20 today. Durr. Durr. It was squeezing shorts out. I don't know. So here's the thing: if they're squeezing out shorts, there are a lot more shorts to squeeze, based on cumulative delta, right? Based on my metrics over here, I think I'm gonna need to wait until another 50 seconds here to see, for me to really be able to judge. I've never heard of Kevin Talk. What he? Yeah, so it's kind of, I'm assuming that that's some sort of influencer, and it's kind of getting funny to me. It's like everybody tries to become an influencer, and even if you're not very good at it, like me, you can build a fairly decent following, and so the number of influencers out there with a large enough following to be worth knowing about is so large that you just can't keep up with it anymore, right? It used to be that there was only like 2 or 3 trading guys on YouTube that I would know about, and now there's hundreds. And I think that there's something to the kids. Like, if you're young, if you're doing this and you're like 19 or 20, it seems like there's that younger demographic is going to be more interested in listening to you just because you're their age. So there's that going on too. And okay, so we got a pretty good move up. The cumulative delta hasn't come out. Cumulative delta hasn't come out on towards the upside. I do kind of see a spot that I want to see them make it to, but they're not quite doing it. Why did I have it at 55? Huh. I'm not sure. That's weird. Kind of looks like I may have screwed this trade up, guys. That's odd. So there certainly seems to be some amount of selling of hedging here going on right now even though like the buyers are pushing it through. So I'm taking that off. It's not. I'm probably going to regret doing that. It does kind of look like it could just bust through up to the top. But I misjudged something. So there was something about the basis of my trade that I miscalculated. And it's not really acting the way that I thought it would at this spot. So it's making me a little bit nervous. So I'm going to just take my standard profit on that. So we'll come through here, and over in the treasury, I have no clue what's going on. I have no clue what's going on in the treasury. Gonna try doing something here. Bears will not stop 420. Yeah. Oh, they want to get to 4,200. Nah, they're not going to get up there today, unfortunately. That'd be too far. When things sold yesterday, that one was out of the cards. Okay, there. See, it is pushing through. But see, I when I looked at it, I was like, I knew that 44 was where I wanted to get in, and 50. So I knew that 50 was gonna possibly suck them in. But now that before we got to 50, there's all of this absorption against it, right? So that's got me a little scared still. Probably, though, the market is just going to buy it. Like, that's seems like what they always do. How's your car? Look, it's doing quite well, actually. It's been doing quite well. Is it still at 69? 66 cents, 6.85 cents. So it's close to 69. Someone mentioned it to me the other day, and he instantly thought, "Oh, thank you." It's funny. I tell you what, man. When these coins like really start taking off, and I would say Garlic Coin has a pretty good momentum on it. If you really did a big YOLO in it, you would be pretty happy. But it's really hasn't picked up the momentum to like really get everybody to pay attention to it yet. You know. But once it starts becoming that high flyer, it's really quite startling and scary to me how much the numbers change. Because like I have a price in my head, and it's like up in the thousands that I think that Garlic Coin could get to, that I would want to hold to. And when you go and you start seeing it like going up 100%, 100, you know, like all of my calibrations are on the futures and stocks, and so when I see that, I'm like, oh, you should be cashing out now. But then I'm like, oh no, actually, no, because of that, your target is way up there. So I don't know. Maybe the cryptocurrency market comes and crashes next week, and Garlic Coin goes back to practically zero again. We'll see. I don't know. Don't want to get too excited. Now on the split side of that, I made a post in their subreddit the other day. Was it yesterday? Like right now, it's kind of hard to get it because you have to be on Fry Exchange, which, you know, it's easy enough to sign up for it and transfer some Bitcoin over there and buy it. But you know, people think that that's hard, but what I see is that the people that own this thing are all like small guys that aren't going to sell it. They're certainly not going to sell it for less than $1. So if the demand is already outstripping the demand right now, it's just only going to get worse, right? So I'm still pretty bullish on it. Well, I don't know. So when I'm watching the order flow in the 10-year, it's still pretty equal, but then in the 5-year, they bought it up. Pretty good 4,000 contracts. So there's some spreads going on here and everything, but I'm having a hard time sorting out. Well, if it's on the short end, that must have more to do with expectations on when the Federal Reserve will increase rates. I don't know. There's that big old 4,800 at 09.5 that I'm not so sure that that's going to hold. The Garlic, well, it's only $4 million. It was like, it used to be pathetic, man. It used to be only like 100,000. So it's gone up big time in market cap just in the past 3 weeks. Yeah, if it catches any traction, it will go to 1 easily. Yeah, well, remember when it started out, it started trading at $1. Now, at the time, $1 was ridiculous. What you could mine it for and all that stuff, the difficulty, $1 was ridiculous. Now, I would say that $1 is still undervalued. Although I'm gonna have to kind of readjust, see when it gets up there, what the hash rate looks like and everything. And the other big thing you got to remember is that there's a cap at 69 million, and they've already mined most of it out, right? The circulating supply is 63 million garlic, and there's only 69 million garlic max. Okay, so the treasury is pushed up again. The 5-year dragging them up. Well, I'm still like very much experimenting in the 10-year. Obviously, like I said, this one down here for the 1 ticker should have been a scratch. Okay. I want to do the dumb thing here again and just kind of let it sort itself out and see if I get it. Some asshole probably owns a quarter of the supply. Well, you can go and look at the rich list. So there's like this one, yeah, So here's the rich list, right? And there is somebody with 4 million garlic. That's actually changed since I last looked at it. 670. Man, some of these are just massive. I used to be in like the top 50, but I'm not anymore. I would assume that these guys would probably sell long before it gets to, you know, $100,000. But I think for garlic coin, the thing that matters more is the timing of the larger cryptocurrency market, right? How far can they go before the cryptocurrencies crash? Because the cryptocurrency market is kind of looking like they can't hold on much longer, you know, with Dogecoin and all that. Like, so it's not gonna last, right? Yeah, hold on, I gotta. We need their dollars to come back into equities. Well, I've kind of been thinking, you know, with for sure in the bitcoins, like, is the way that garlic coin trading an indictment on the larger trading system, that the only that people just want to trade, and that they don't feel like that it's a fair game or that they stand a chance in the regular stock market, and so that's why they're turning to instruments like Dogecoin, because that's sure what it looks like to me. And that just means we need to make equity markets more fair. We need to give them access to, like, everybody should have access to like full level 2. There needs to be like real level 2 platforms out there, you know. Well, thank you for tweeting about Yada. If you haven't checked out the savings account Yada, you can use my code SpeculatorSeth, and you'll get tickets, which tend to give you a good $5 to $10. So if you want to make $5 to $10, you haven't set that up yet. Oh, this isn't. I said exactly that when you were covering GME back in January. To the this isn't sustainable thing, or to the this is an indictment on that people just don't think that the system is fair to trade. Part of the issue is that with the system not being fair to trade, I would argue that the system is a lot more fair than you would think, and that large institutions have really big dynamics that are very difficult to overcome working against them that you don't, that gives you an advantage in certain situations. But the problem is that unless you have a predictive edge, your expectancy is still zero. And so it will seem like no matter what you're doing, that it doesn't work. And that's because they're all trying to trade off of something that is essentially random, usually with technical analysis, right? Predictive edges go long, right? Yeah. The predictive edge in this market is to just go long for sure. Well, the 5-year broke out through the top there. So here again, I can't make much sense of why the treasuries are moving the way that they are. There's like no news, nothing for it to be. So why are they moving up the way that they are? Other than that, maybe I tried to take a short down there and they want to screw me over. And it does seem like it's like the exact moment that I try and do something, then they'll decide to go and bid it up. The system is most fair ever, really. So much governments are pushing. Well, you know, we've seen some politicians come in and say some things that were like really, man, where do they get these ideas from? But none of that stuff's gonna happen. No. Where the democratization is going to come in is in providing better data. There is some data that I think is absolutely essential for trading that the retail traders are just not getting, and it's been kept from them. Straight up been kept from them. You just look at like the whole Morningstar thing with the short data and how big of a mess that's been, right? Like, we got to fix that stuff. Like, there shouldn't be this huge, complicated deal about how many shares are actually short and what percentage of the float it is and what the float actually is. It's ridiculous. Well, so I'm talking specifically about the short interest data. So Morningstar will report short interest data from the week before that is reported. And when it was reported, the float also changed. So the percentage of shares short changed, but then when you actually looked at the data and you look at the number of shares that were short, you see that the number of shares that were short declined significantly. And so almost all of the shorts got out. And that was like the end of the trade. It really was the end of the trade. But because of the way that the numbers are released and how confusing it is and so forth, and the data quality just isn't very good, most retail traders can't understand it and don't realize that that's what happened. And so they're still living under this delusion that there's this huge amount of short sellers that they can squeeze out, when the reality is that most of those guys are gone, and the ones that are still in there are short from a much higher price. Commitment of traders should be no, I don't think that they can make it daily. By the time they release it, you can't use it for anything besides it. Yeah, well, that's true. But I think that that's intentional. They want the commitment. Like, this is the thing, is I think that the commitment of traders data is there to prove that like everything is above board, but it's delayed enough so that you can't actually use it in trading. I think that that's the intention. Last year during the lockdowns, there were a lot of bored Japanese day traders. Well, there was a lot of bored US day traders at home. So it's starting to get a little bit thick here, but it, like, look, it keeps going up. And the E-mini, I called that one right. So if we come in here, well, let's just our E-mini trade's 25. I mean, I could try making another trade, but I'm gonna wait for them to resolve this thing. So what I was seeing was that I knew that there was an area of low latent liquidity from the overnight session up above 50. So I wanted to see it get drawn into that area. But what I started to see was some iceberging and low latent liquidity before that. And that's what scared me out. And now since then, it's just kind of middled around there, and it is actually kind of suggesting that they're going to turn back down. Of course, they're anonymous, but still organized by institution type. So in Taiwan, they were able to get data sets from Taiwan that showed every transaction made by every trader, so that they were able to go through and see how each trader did. And it was literally like 80%. Then they went through and they're like, okay, so who tries to day trade? And of the people that day trade, who makes or loses money? And it was just like everything else says. There's like a few people that just know everything that's going to happen somehow, and everybody else loses money. Okay, so did they touch? They didn't touch the opening price there in the E-mini. Action is pretty. There's a lot of tails and so forth on that 1 minute chart. We are getting kind of a little bit of a oh man, like they're kind of at the lower end of their harmonics potentially, so this might be like, if it is a buy spot, like if we do want to just straight up buy the E-mini and we think that we're going to go higher today, this might be an okay spot to do it. Oh, we had that here. Well, yeah, that one I was maybe different, but they found only 5% of people day trading made money in a 4-year span. Yeah, it's a ridiculous amount, right? I have to blow my nose. Hold on. Okay, well, there goes the whole maybe that's where you buy it idea, huh? The thing with that Brazil study was that when it came out, everybody was like, oh, it's just Brazil, like that. Their market isn't reliable. Of course, they're all getting screwed. Nah, I'm gonna bet you that if you did the same study on futures traders in the U.S., that it would come out to the same thing. That day trading futures traders, that's only 5% of them are profitable over a 5-year period. Okay, so they pushed below the open. They made back up. A large order just showed up. They filled him. Oy. Oy. Okay, so we don't want to touch that because of him. The dollar just took a dive there, by the way. I don't know if it's just like the air is too dry or if I'm allergic to something, but my nose itches so bad today. So there's kind of the turn. By the way, RTY really lagging today. Like they got the ES down spot 2.8. That's from the extended session, but the RTY is down spot 8. Yep, that's the study win. Well, you can find the scholarly one on SSRN, but yeah. And I don't know. There's not really much else to say about it other than that they looked at like all futures traders and they weren't making money in Brazil. Oh, Nassim Nicholas Taleb made his feed private, so you gotta follow him. You gotta follow him. So I wonder if the E-mini does decide to fall apart here. This would be pretty similar to what it was yesterday, right? Like there was an initial bull run, and then when it fell apart very quickly. And aggregating 4 years of data is just bad. Yeah, but that's the thing is that so you could go back and you could say, okay, of the people that traded for the whole 4 years, how did they do in year 4? The last year they traded the whole time period, and in the 4th year, how well did they do, and what percentage of those guys are profitable? Because that's the argument that people make is like, most people they give up really fast and they weren't really serious, and so that doesn't apply to me. I think that even after that, you're gonna find that the vast majority fail. Because the issue isn't that people don't try hard. The issue is that all of the edges that retail traders are attracted to are useless, particularly in futures. Well, there's another test of lower prices. There's kind of this like 42 area, it has some support behind it. Okay, what the hell? Bail on that one. How big of a hit did I take? Oh, it wasn't too bad. It wasn't too bad. Man, I could not have gotten more unlucky on that one, huh? I haven't had something like that happen to me in a while. From 42 to 46, so a 4-point swing, just like that. Success rate, I don't think success rate would be like 50% or anything, but if it gets to 80, it would be super high already, don't you think? I mean, careers that have that success rate over 4 years. You mean like if the failure rate was 80%? Right? No way. I think that if you get to the people that have been trading for years and you look at their success rate, that it is still more than 50% fail. And it's probably closer to 70%. Cryptocurrency fans declare Doge Day on April 20th as Dogecoin jumps 20%. They could get to 42, right? This is going to be difficult, but the Dogecoin could be worth 42 cents. And it's a ways to go for them to do that. They're at 37 right now. Mike Lee did a podcast. He's smart. He's smart, but he does dumb things sometimes too. Hmm. Okay. So they're testing the lows. It looks like they're going to break it. Still the RTH lows, mind you. It's a little bit of absorption as it happens. %95% failure rate with 4 years aggregated data is not that bad at all. Compare that with people trying to be a successful doctor. Is it really? I mean, I've never met anybody that tried to be a successful doctor and failed, so. Darn. So we're getting some slipperiness here. EU drug regulator finds blood clot link in Johnson & Johnson vaccine, but says benefit risk still positive. Yeah, okay. Well, I feel like I'm just kind of being flaky here, but like, look at that. Oh, jeez. Yeah, that's going to be his full stop out. Okay, so I'd say that they defended those lows pretty well, didn't they? Like the way that that volume came out doesn't necessarily suggest to me that any big player is making a move, but rather that a bunch of retail traders tried to play the momentum similar to what I did, and it didn't turn out. Hmm. Oh. Yeah, I don't know, Kyle. The thing is that if you look at it randomly, probably 60% of traders should lose. But then you add the competition on top of it, and it's 95. And I don't think that it should be 95. I think that in an ideal world, it should be more like, uh, should be more like, 70. Well, the Treasury, now that they've got up to this 01 area in the 5 year, is just kind of chilling there. Hmm. Flat. I'm done. It is like fighting me hard. Hmm. See, like, and it looks bearish now, but like, I don't know. Should have just quit after the first one, huh? Hmm. No, I think he was serious. Oh, was that April 1st? I don't know. I haven't seen him since. And he hasn't said anything to me. But that's why I keep saying to you guys that, like, well, okay, if that's the way you're gonna be, you kind of gotta wonder, right? Because I'm not gonna deal with somebody that's gonna behave like that. That's not a healthy thing for me. Okay. No, I didn't know him from. I only knew him from the stream. He came in one day, and just because he was another local, that's why we hit it off. I mean, I think I still have him on Facebook, so I'm sure he'll pop back up again. But it doesn't sound like something that we should worry about, right? Okay. Japanese stock slide as Tokyo pushes for third COVID state of emergency. Yeah, I've been online for probably 5K hours now on social media. It's like riding the train. People get on and off, and sometimes you see them again. Sometimes you just question. Yeah. I have met thousands and thousands of people on the internet, and people come and go. And, some people, they're like, I gotta go, and they're gonna like, sure, like, everything that's going on, and like, work it all. But some people just decide to just disappear, and that's where I'm like, okay, like, I really don't like it when somebody knowingly leaves somebody else in the dark. You know what I mean? I absolutely detest it. And it used to be like it'll trigger the anxiety, and I think that's why some people do it, because of the way that it might make other people react. But I've been through that enough times, and I know enough about the psychology now that when I immediately see that, it's like an immediately like, well, I don't want anything to do with them then. You know what I mean? There was a number of times where there was girls when I was dating. There was this one girl that, every interaction that we had was positive, and it seemed like things were going pretty well, and she kind of like wasn't really responsive one week, and so I was just like, oh, what's going on? And they're like, oh no, it's fine, I just was spending some time with a friend from out of town or something like that. And then And I was like, okay, well, when you know everything's fine, then you come back and find me. Like I could have followed up a week later and probably gone out with her again. But just the fact that she was gonna like disappear and not say f all about it was like, yeah, you're not the one for me. You're not the one for me. Them treasuries kind of acting like they want to go up again, huh? So I think that the E-mini is getting like it's churning and everybody's trying to jump on it whichever way it's going. So like all of a sudden they're like, oh, maybe it is a long day, maybe it's a short day. It's actually a little bit biased to the short though, because like the volume is short and we've been rotating around the seller's line, not the buyer's line. The buyer's line is up at 47. Darn. Yeah, look at that. Look at that come back out. I mean, come on, that was ridiculous. That whole sequence right there was kind of ridiculous. Now they're going to test the low again. At what point does the one selling one's house for lumber generate more proceeds than selling it as a house? What? Hmm. So there's another, buy trying to turn it up. And look, it doesn't last. Actually, they're kind of forming an area here now. It looks like. Oh, or not. Man. Okay, some support there. Okay. So now they're busting through that kind of support area that had formed in the overnight. Perfect example of why support and resistance can be really useless sometimes. Who would have the courage to hurt his sweet and speculative? Well, that girl, I wasn't that. I wasn't that committed at that point, so it wasn't too devastating to me. I'm kind of thinking they might go to the overnight lows now. I don't know. So like 37 is like full stop out. And downside is 41.20. Oh, okay. So I think after all is said and done, granted, I went further than I could, but if I had kept it small, I think I would have come out today with maybe a small profit. So I think we're doing okay. Of course, in the 10-year, I'm really frustrated. Like, I'd like to go back to trading the 10-year, and I have something that I kind of think I could work out. I'm still kind of sorting out what area it is that I want to be taking it. But it seems like lately that I get into that spot and it will reverse there and never look back. And you're getting these crazy trends that I can't really explain. It's just moving around to screw me over. Okay, so that was like some slippage just above the stop out area. That's why I was like, okay, fine, I'll get out. Now this is kind of the same thing. Like, look, I got a great position at 14, but are they going to hit me? I'm wondering if the correct way to have played this, though, was to just sit and wait for the weakness. Because when it came down from like 46 or so down to 42 the first time and bounced, like that was a pretty good short. And then here, this last one was definitely a good short. And we'll see if they turn down again to the lows. But for now, it looks like they're holding it. Another thing that I'm thinking here is I did use multiple contracts to sort things out, But I don't have to use one. I'm on like a 2-week win streak, you know, like I have the margin. But every time that I kind of sort that out, I don't feel very good about it. So, okay, look, I did get filled there. That's cool. Hmm. Coin back to 69 cents. I should be a little bit more upbeat than I am at the moment, but I'm feeling a little exhausted. I think I'm just exhausted. Like that was some hard work there. Like I had to work for it today. I should be happy that I had to work for it, but I would have been happier if I had worked for it and, you know, just absolutely hit it out of the park, you know? I don't know. Am I too hard on myself? I feel like I'm being too hard on myself. I don't really see the evidence of a large meta order. I'm seeing some big sweeps, so that's definitely something, but I'm not seeing the evidence of large meta orders. Okay, Gabby is going to take that one. I'm not sure I would take that one. Not at the lows and not in a downtrend. How are the robots doing? Oh, you know what? They're probably all screwed up because I didn't have... Where's my other chart? There it is. Yeah, it's all screwed up because the level 2 wasn't updating. So I'm going to have to... Well, some of them actually did okay. Did Gabby take the loss? Yeah, she did. Not surprised. That one was a bad idea. That close to the full stop out and new lows of the day? Nah, no, I don't think so. You're being too hard on yourself, leaving it. I don't know. I mean, so the question is, for this first quarter, I haven't really put on a whole lot of risk into futures lately. I've kind of focused it more in other spots. And, you know, so should I try putting some money at work in May and over the summer? But then it's like, well, last summer I did really well during that period, right? But normally I do terrible during that period. And then there's a fall, and I've had kind of mixed results in the fall, but it tends to be the first quarter of the year that I do best. So I'm sitting here like, okay, do I just kind of sit here and chill for a couple of months still? Because that's kind of what it's looking like I might do. I don't know. Maybe if the market's like really pull back and I'm doing well in it, then hey, why not? But this bid in the treasuries kind of looks like trying to offset their treasuries, their equities. So see, there it is again. That one wasn't quite so extreme, but it's like it jumps back up and there's like so much volume that plows into it. And look at all of the absorption in here. That is kind of like almost PPT type of action. Well, they're not pushing the lows yet. I'm able to get a good spot there in the 10-year at 14 for some reason over and over again. There's a new low. I guess I should have held that low. Well, actually, you know what? I mean, that is 10 points, but the original trade, though, was actually quite good spot to have gotten out. So, and this is turning into the it's too crazy for you to touch it in ES. And you're getting like 15s. Like that looks like something that we could try fading and then it doesn't work. You know what I mean? Europe's pandemic-induced economy shock will likely create more distressed companies in sectors like tourism, hospitality, and leisure, says Moody's. It does kind of look like that today it is like pandemic fears that is pushing this. No? This is kind of looking like the spring economic recovery won't be as good as we hoped. That's kind of what it's suggesting to me right now. What kind of an adjustment do we have to make for that? Well, first of all, the S&P 500 would have to be a lot lower from here. Maybe we'll get it. We'll see. Oh man, if Price is below 30. Well, when we come to our volume profile, I think I see where you're talking about. Because 30 was definitely an area that was rejected before, let's say. I don't know if it really matters though. Like all of this action over here, like why did it happen? I don't know if there was really any reason for it. We are though coming into an area that there wasn't a lot of liquidity at before. So like the downside momentum potential is certainly there. We don't know if it's going to be like that when it revisits. I think that's kind of one of the things, right? The longer ago it happened, the less reliable it is. And that one, last Wednesday, or sorry, last Wednesday, Friday, Thursday, Wednesday, yeah. I'm a little unsure if that one's worth anything. Okay, so I did get filled at 45 for half. Certainly, it doesn't make up for my boo-boo. This is the second time I've done that where I'm like, okay, you know what? This one's not working out, but I think it's going to come back up a little bit and then down, and I want to try playing that. And then it just trended up and up and up and up and up and up. For no reason. And you're kind of like, But I don't know, man. It seems to me I continue to do okay in the equities, although I think that there's obviously a few cracks in my strategy that have me concerned about. I mean, I think that I should be okay to trade it right now. Like, I think that I would have been okay with those trades if it was live. And maybe I should be putting the risk on. But there's also a few cracks there, you know. A bad day that could have turned out really poorly. Over here in the 10-year, I have like no edge. I don't understand why it's moving. And so that's causing a big problem. Zero Hedge says small caps are puking. Let's come over. Okay, so Coinbase not doing so hot today. What about ARK and Tesla though, eh? Well, do I not have Tesla even on here? Where's that? Oh, there it is. Tesla is actually update, but ARK is down 1.25. Coinbase down 2%. Treasury yields, of course, all decreasing. Banks even taking it pretty bad, man. This is gonna be ugly. It's gonna be an ugly day today. I think. Oh no, it's not too bad. It's not too bad. That one. That shouldn't have. Oh, I showed you guys that, didn't I? Yeah. That right there, like that first one. Like what was it? Look, I never got a favorable tick off of it too. So it was like two boo-boos, right? But the equity's on their own. The equity's on their own. I mean, it worked out. Hold on. It has to. There you go. It worked out with the equities, but I should have gotten a lot more out of that, right? Do you see the market long or short? Oh yeah, we should buy this right here, guys. Look at that. I'm joking. Yeah, this market. You know, when I came in, so yesterday, Monday, I was pretty confident. Well, I shouldn't say confident. My suspicion was that we were gonna have a down day. I was stocking shorts the whole time. I kind of played it like, I don't know what's gonna happen, but the whole time in my mind I was thinking I'm just waiting to go short, right? Today it was kind of like, well, I don't know if it'll continue or not, so I wasn't really sure, and it was still short. So I caught some of the short. I tried going both ways. I caught some of the short. I'm not super happy with how it turned out. So I don't know. I should have done way better. but that's okay. We still got out okay. And one thing that we should keep in mind is like when the market's falling, it's a lot harder to make money. So for us to come out positive at all, I think is okay. Steve incorporating you. What do you... You know, I'm getting really frustrated with Steve because I feel like I've got some quality content there and TikTok just doesn't care. Maybe I need to try my hand on YouTube. That's what it should be. Maybe we should just do a Steve video for YouTube and see if he does better on YouTube than TikTok. And it can still be short videos, but they can be like 3 minutes instead of 1 minute. So there's one of these dips is going to get bought. I just don't know which one. I kind of feel like, though, that this is acceptance of lower prices. Yeah. Like, they accepted that we're going to stay below 30, but they haven't taken any of these prices and been like, okay, this is the price that I want. So, options open interest are backing up my area as well, huh? Well, oil. Wow, what is happening to oil? Holy crap. Hedge fund giant warns of SPAC blowup after betting $1 billion, says Bloomberg. Marshall Wallace has built up a long and short exposure to SPACs. Oil falls below 63 in reversal on the... So what is going on? Oil is just getting decimated. Well, gold is doing okay, so there's that, which is nice. And well, the dollar back above 91. I don't know, guys. Will I ever get to buy a pullback? Yes, but you'll forget it's a pullback in short anyways. Yeah, probably. I went short here. Look, they did it again. They've done it in that spot a lot. So this spot right here, 27, is the one we want to watch, right? Oh, Coinbase looks so terrible. It's kind of funny. It's kind of looking like Coinbase is like a top. It's like, I don't know, man. You think that we turn into like a real bear market until the fall? It's possible now. Like, I look at that and I'm like, that's a possibility that wasn't really on my radar that today I think I should put back on the board, right? Because before it was like, oh yeah, the second quarter is going to be awesome. And then the pandemic will be over and it's just smooth sailing from there. Not so fast. And then treasuries touched 15 too. Ooh. Is that higher than yesterday? No, it's not higher than yesterday. It's all of yesterday's range, so I don't know how to work out what's going on in treasuries. I don't know. I think that I need to stick to... I must have a really clear reason of why the treasury is moving to be trading it. So, you know, I thought that I was identifying a spot where I could just take a little, where there was a slight mispricing, but I wasn't actually getting that. So it's no good. Hey guys, that's all we got for today. Markets collapse. Markets further collapse. Market bearishness continues for second day. Bearishness. There we go. There's some girl out there named Bree watching this being like, market Bearishness. What? Even if you were going short, like up until, I mean, for the whole first hour, right? Chop, 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 chop. And then you take it. There's only a super, super small window where you could have really taken it. And at that point, when I got out at 39, which I think was appropriate, you didn't really know. And it came back quite a bit too. So like that one was tough. Like either way that you taken it, even if you held it all the way down to here, that was a tough trade. Now you're getting somewhat of a real bounce, but like Kyle said, like that 30 level, it kind of ends up being like a problem now because there was a lot of slipperiness there. Oh, it looks like Gabby took another trade there and made back her money. Oh no, she's taking 3. Disc, disc, disc. She started out doing so well, and now she's had this period. This hasn't been very good. It's like within the boundaries of like a drawdown, but I don't know. Hey guys, I should stop yapping and go. I will see you guys tomorrow. By the way, thanks for all the likes, 16 likes. Lots of viewers, kind of stream did a lot better today, so appreciate that, guys. Hey, I think we still got a couple of things to work on. I think, I'm thinking about it. There's still a couple of things that I've been investigating. I want to finish investigating, so we get into that. But I'll see you tomorrow, and in the meantime, stay profitable, friends.